Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly, and today our topic is how to use SendGrid with Google Sheets and Pabbly to send automated dynamic emails. So here in my Google Sheet, I'm managing some dynamic data of my leads, client, customer or my email recipient. Now what I need to do is that as I'm going to add the new data of a new client, customer or any email recipient in my Google Sheet, then automatically by capturing the detail of that new row, I want to send a dynamic email by using SendGrid. So for my objective, I have to build a connection between Google Sheets and SendGrid. So for building this connection, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing software for automation and integration. Now with Pabbly Connect, I'm going to build this connection. As I'm going to receive a new detail added in a new row in Google Sheet, then automatically a dynamic email will be sent by using SendGrid. So how I'm going to build this connection? For that, let me take you to my computer screen. I hope all you can see my computer screen. And today we are going to see that how we can use SendGrid with Google Sheets and Pabbly to automatically send automated dynamic emails. So integrating SendGrid with Google Sheets and Pabbly to send automated dynamic emails can revolutionize how businesses handle their email marketing and communication. So imagine you manage a growing email list of customers, clients or leads stored neatly in Google Sheets, and manually crafting and sending personalized emails to each contact is time consuming and prone to errors. Now by automating this process, I can send dynamic personalized emails based on the data from my Google Sheet. For instance, a retail business can automatically send personalized promotional offers to customers on their birthdays or anniversaries, ensuring timely and relevant communication. And similarly, a sales team can use this integration to follow up with leads automatically based on specific criteria such as last contact date or deal status. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to send personalized email to all my customers or all the clients that I have the data in my Google Sheet, and I'm going to use my client details from my Google Sheet to automatically send some personalized email with a dynamic template. So I'm going to send a dynamic email, and in that template I'm going to add some details from my Google Sheet and I'm going to make that a personalized email. So this integration not only saves time but also ensures consistent and personalized communication, enhancing customer engagement and improving the efficiency of your email campaigns. So in this video, I will show you how to set up this powerful integration with the help of Pabbly Connect. So this is going to enable you to send automated dynamic email via SendGrid and triggered by data in Google Sheets. Now here what we are going to do is we are going to automatically send some dynamic emails by using SendGrid email template. And we are going to use all the data from our Google Sheets. So for setting up this integration between Google Sheets and SendGrid, what we need to do is we need to build a connection between these two applications, and that too without any coding and programming skills. For that, we just need to use Pabbly Connect. So for using Pabbly Connect, I need to open a new tab and search for pabbly.com/connect in our browser. And this will take us to this landing page of Pabbly Connect. Here we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. If we don't have any account with Pabbly Connect, then we can just click on this sign up for free button, and this will take only 2 minutes of our time and we will get 100 tasks free every month. Or if we already have an account, we can just sign in and we will get to see this page. So these are all the apps that Pabbly offers, and we need to use Pabbly Connect here. For that, I need to click here on this Access Now button under Pabbly Connect. And this will direct us to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Now here in the dashboard, what we need to do is we need to create a new workflow, and for that I'm going to click here on this create workflow button and this window will pop up. Now here I need to name my workflow, so I'm going to name it as my objective, which is to use SendGrid with Google Sheets and Pabbly to send automated and dynamic emails. Now what I need to do is I need to select the folder where I want to save my workflow. So I'm going to open this tab. And here I will find all the folders that I have in my Pabbly Connect account. And here I'm going to use this particular folder of Google Sheets. So I'm going to select this and I need to click on create. Now here this will take us to this most important window of our workflow. Here in this window we have two boxes, trigger and action. So these are the two main principles on which our workflow works on, and these are the two main building blocks of our workflow. So here trigger says when this happens, action says do this. So trigger is going to be the first step that will get executed in our workflow, and action will just follow that. So in our workflow, we need to first set up our trigger, And in our workflow, we can only set up single trigger steps and multiple action steps. So for setting up a trigger, what we need to do is we need to search for our trigger application. And here my trigger application is going to be Google Sheets. So I'm going to search for that. And I'm going to select Google Sheets here. Now I need to give a trigger event. So I'm going to open this tab. A new or updated spreadsheet row will be my trigger event. So I'm going to select this. And now as I'm going to add a new row with the new detail of my client or the person who I want to send email, then automatically this is going to get triggered and I'm going to get the data of that row automatically in Pabbly Connect. So for getting the data, what I need to do is I need to connect Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect in my workflow. So for connecting these two applications, I'm going to use webhook URL, and this webhook URL is going to work as a bridge between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. Now for connecting these two applications, I need to follow all these instructions. And first I need to copy this webhook URL. And now I need to take you to my Google Sheets. So here in Google Sheet, I have this spreadsheet that is named as SendGrid emails. And in this spreadsheet, I'm going to add the detail of my client and the email subject that I want to send dynamically by using SendGrid template. So here what I need to do is I need to connect this spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect so that I can get the data of the new row that I'm going to add for my client or my email recipient. So for connecting the spreadsheet or this sheet with Pabbly Connect, I need to go to extensions. And here I need this particular extension of Pabbly Connect webhooks. So if we don't have this extension, then what we need to do is we need to go to add-ons and we need to click on get add-ons. And this will take us to Google Workspace Marketplace. Here we need to search for our extension, that is Pabbly Connect webhooks. And we are going to open this and we will get to see our extension like this. So what we need to do is we need to first install this extension, and I have already installed this. So I'm going to close this. And after installing the extension, we need to first refresh our spreadsheet. And after refreshing the spreadsheet, we need to go back to extensions and we need to go to Pabbly Connect webhooks. And here we need to open initial setup. Now by using initial setup, we are going to connect the sheet that we have in our spreadsheet. And here I only have one sheet, that is sheet 1. So we are going to connect this with Pabbly Connect. And for connecting this sheet with Pabbly Connect, I need to give my webhook URL and trigger column. So first I'm going to paste that webhook URL that I have copied from Pabbly Connect. And now I need to give a trigger column. So the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to the webhook URL. So in my spreadsheet, I have this last data entry column, that is column D. So this column D is going to be my trigger column. And now as the data will be filled in this particular column, then automatically the data of that whole row will be sent to Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to type my trigger column here and my trigger column will be column D. And now I need to click on send test. And here my test data has been sent successfully. Now I have sent the data of my first row as a test data to Pabbly Connect. Now I'm going to click on submit. And here my setup is configured successfully. So I'm going to close this. And here I want one more thing, that as I'm going to add the data in a new row, then automatically I want that data to be sent to Pabbly Connect. So for that, I need to go to extensions. I need to go to Pabbly Connect webhooks. And here I need to enable this option of send on event. So I'm going to click here. And after enabling this option, what is going to happen is that as I'm going to add the detail of a new client or a new email recipient in a new row, then automatically the data of that row will be sent to Pabbly Connect. Now I need to take you back to Pabbly Connect. And here in Pabbly Connect, we can see I have received this response. So in this response, I have all the data of my spreadsheet row. And here I have my trigger column, that is column D. I have my spreadsheet name, that is SendGrid emails. Also here I have the random phone number. I have the name of my recipient, that is demo user. I have the email subject, that is enjoy your luxurious and comforting stays with luxury stays. Also here I have the email address, that is demouser@pabblytudes.com. So here I have received all these details from my Google Sheet. And now what I need to do is that as I have received this detail, I automatically want to use all these details to send a dynamic and automated email to my email recipient or my client. So for sending the dynamic email, I'm going to use SendGrid. And for that, I need to set up my actions tab. And here in my action application, I'm going to search for SendGrid. So I'm going to select SendGrid here. And now I need to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab. And now for sending the dynamic email, what I need to do is I need to use a custom API request. So I'm going to select that as my action event. And now what I need to do is I need to connect SendGrid with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on connect. I will click on add new connection. And now for connecting SendGrid with Pabbly Connect, I need to give an API token. So how I'm going to get this API token or my API key? So for that, I need to first log into my SendGrid account, and in SendGrid, I need to go to settings. In settings, I will find API keys. There I need to create a new API key, and I have to give the full access to my API key. So I'm going to follow all the instructions, and I will go back to my SendGrid account. Now here in SendGrid, I will go to settings. Now in settings, I have this option of API keys. So I'm going to open this. Now in API keys, I need to create a new API key. So I'm going to click on create API key button. I am going to give full access. So I have selected that option. And now I need to give my API key name. So I'm going to give my API key name as dynamic emails. So I'm going to type that. And I have filled my API key name. So I'm going to click on create and view. And here we can see I have successfully created my API key. So I'm going to first copy this API key. And I'm going to click on done. Now I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect, and I'm going to paste that API key here in this token tab. Now I need to click on save. And here I have successfully connected SendGrid with Pabbly Connect. Now for sending a dynamic data, what I need to do is I need to fill all these details here. And first I need to create a dynamic template. So how we can create this dynamic template and how we can fill all these details? For that, I need to first take you to my SendGrid account. And here I'm going to open this tab of email API, and in email API, I'm going to go to dynamic templates. So here in dynamic templates, I have already created this one dynamic template. And if you want to create a new dynamic template, you need to first click on this create a dynamic template button. You need to give a name to your template. So I'm going to give a test name here. I will click on create, and I'm going to open this. Now here in your template, you will find your template ID. And you need to add your version. So I'm going to click on add version here. And now you need to create your design. So you can create a blank template, or you can use the design that SendGrid offers. And these are all the designs that SendGrid offers for their dynamic emails. So you can select any design that you want to use, and you can create your dynamic template. Now I'm going to go back, and here I have created my dynamic template. So I'm going to open that. So here this is my dynamic template, and I'm going to show you this template. And here I have created this dynamic template by using my HTML code. This is how my dynamic template look like. And in this I have added some dynamic data or my test data. So here I have added the name of my client or the subject of this email as a dynamic data. And I want this data to be changed on a personalized level, and I want this data to be changed with my Google Sheet data. So here I have created this dynamic data for the name and the subject. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to Pabbly Connect, and here for sending the dynamic email, I need to first select my request method. So I'm going to open this tab, and here for sending the data, we are going to use post method. Now I need to give the API endpoint URL. So I'm going to fill my API endpoint URL here, and we need to use this API endpoint URL for sending the mail. So here we need to use this mail send API endpoint URL. And if you want to learn more about API endpoint URL, then you can click on this hyperlink of learn more. Now what I need to do is I need to select my payload type, and that is going to be JSON. And now I need to give the data or the dynamic data. So here I'm going to use a JSON body of a data, and also I'm going to add that in my description. So you can use that data and you can customize that data according to you. So I'm going to fill my JSON payload data here. So here this is my JSON, and you can get this JSON in this video description, and you can use this while creating your workflow. Now here what I need to do is, now here I have the option of from email, template ID, email, and my dynamic data. So here first I need to give the email address from which I want to send this email, and I need to give a verified email that we have on my SendGrid account. So here I have this email address in my SendGrid account, and from this I want to send my email to all my clients and all the recipients that I have in my Google Sheet. Now here I need to give my template ID by using which I want to send my dynamic email. So for getting this template ID, we need to go back to SendGrid. I will go back, and here for getting the template ID, you need to open your template, and here ahead of your template ID, you will find your template ID. So I'm going to copy this. I will go back to Pabbly Connect, and I'm going to clear this value and I'm going to paste that template ID that I've copied from SendGrid. Now here I need to give the value of to email, and here I need to give the email address of my recipient. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this email address dynamic so that as I'm going to receive a new email address of a recipient from my Google Sheet, then automatically that email will be sent to that particular email address only. So for making this dynamic, what I need to do is I need to first clear this email address from this double quote, and here I need to map the email address that I'm going to receive as a response from Google Sheet. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the process of mapping, and what mapping is a technique through which I can retrieve the data from the previous steps, and the data that is changing will get replaced with the new data in the real time. So by mapping, I'm going to make this data dynamic, and for mapping I need to click here between these double quotes. I'm going to open this response of Google Sheets, and here I need to map the email address of my recipient. So this is the email address, so I'm going to map this. Now I have added my email address. Now what I need to do is I need to give my dynamic template data. So how you can get your dynamic template data? For that you need to go back to your SendGrid account. You need to open your template, and in your template you need to go to test data, where you will find your dynamic data. So I'm going to copy this. I will go back to Pabbly Connect, and after this dynamic template data I need to paste that here. So I have added my dynamic data, and now still this data is not dynamic. So what I need to do is I need to first clear all these values that we have in double quotes, and here what I need to do is I need to map the value from my Google Sheet response. So here I need to first map the name of my recipient, so I need to click here. I will open this response of Google Sheets, and here this is the name of my recipient, that is demo user, so I'm going to map this. Similarly I'm going to map the subject, so I need to click here. I will open this response of Google Sheets, and here this is my email subject, that is enjoy your luxurious and comforting stays with luxury stays. So I'm going to map this as my email subject, and here I have mapped all these required details and I have made these details dynamic. Now what is going to happen is that as I'm going to receive a new response of an email recipient from my Google Sheet, then automatically all these details that I have mapped here are going to get replaced with the new detail in the real time. So every time I'm going to receive a new response from Google Sheet, then automatically I'm going to send this dynamic email to that particular recipient only. So I have filled all the required details here. Now what I need to do is I need to click on Save and Send Test Request button. And here we can see I have received this response. So this is a positive response, and this means that I've sent a dynamic email automatically to my client from Google Sheet response. Now to check this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Gmail. And here on Gmail we can see I have received this email from Ashirai. So I'm going to open this email, and here this is my email that was sent to demo user, and here I have my email subject, that is enjoy your luxurious and comforting stays with luxury stays. Also here this is my template that I had in my SendGrid account, and here I have the name of my client, that is demo user. So here we can see automatically I have used the dynamic data from my Google Sheet, and I have added that in my template in SendGrid, and I have sent that as an email to my client or my email recipient that I had the data in my Google Sheet. So here my automation between Google Sheets and SendGrid is working successfully, and as I'm going to add the data of a new client, lead, or a new person who I want to send my dynamic email, then automatically by using my SendGrid dynamic template, I can send dynamic email to that Google Sheet response. So here I have successfully created this automation for sending dynamic email by using Google Sheet and SendGrid. Now to check this in real time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Google Sheets, and here in Google Sheet I'm going to add a detail of a new email recipient. So I'm going to add the name of my email recipient, that is going to be test user. Email will be testuser@pabblytudes.com. I'm going to fill a random phone number, and I need to give an email subject. Now here in my Google Sheet I have added a new row with my new email recipient details, and now what should happen is that automatically by capturing all the detail of this Google Sheet row, a new dynamic email should be sent by SendGrid to this email address. Now to check this, let me take you back to Gmail. I will go back, and here in inbox we can see I have received this new email which is sent by Ashirai. So I'm going to open this, and here this is my email that was sent to test user. So I have added this name in my Google Sheet, and here I have the email subject, that is luxury stays welcomes you to your beautiful stay. And here I have the name of my email recipient, that is test user, and here this is my email template. So this is my dynamic email template that I have sent by using SendGrid and a custom API request. So with this automation, I can automatically send some dynamic emails by using Google Sheet and SendGrid. Now I can automatically send some dynamic emails to my clients, customer, leads, or my new email recipient that I have in my Google Sheet. And now I can have an alternative of sending emails like my usual email campaigns, and I can send some dynamic emails automatically by using Google Sheet and SendGrid. So here I've successfully created this integration between Google Sheet and SendGrid. And now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect. And here we have created this connection between Google Sheets and SendGrid, and this automation is working successfully. So we have created this automation to automatically use SendGrid with Google Sheets and Pabbly to send automated and dynamic emails. So let's summarize what we did here. So first I have set up my trigger, and my trigger application was Google Sheets, and my trigger event was new or updated spreadsheet row. Then I have set up my action step, and my action application was SendGrid, and my action event was custom API request. So by using custom API request, I'm going to send my dynamic emails. So this is how I have successfully created this automation, and you can also create this workflow by following all the steps that I did in my workflow. And I'm also going to put the link of my workflow and my JSON body in my description, so you can check it out from there. And thank you for watching this video. Not just these applications, you can automate and integrate a lot more applications like this by using Pabbly Connect. So if you want to reach out to us, then email us at support@pabbly.com. And if you have any queries, then you can write us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any issue with the pricing, then you can visit this link. And if you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.